I'm going to take you back in time, guys. Back in time, not that long ago. We're going to go back to 2020, where we, for the first time in United States history, had universal mail in ballots, where everybody got a mail in ballot sent in the mail for the first time without even asking for it. Okay? I'm okay with mail in ballots, absentee voting, when you have to go and request to vote by mail. I am fine with that. But when everybody got a mail in ballot sent to them and nobody was calling to verify that they still live at that address, and some people got multiple different ballots sent to different addresses because they just moved within 6 months of them sending everything out, like, it just makes it ripe for the opportunity for fraud. Not that there necessarily is, but that it opens up the floodgates for that to be possible. Okay? Now, with what we're about to go over in today's episode, we have, from a .gov website, okay, we have evidence that shows that people that are registering to vote week by week, because it pulls up the data week by week, that there are thousands of people that are turning up deceased after they apply to vote and register to vote. Now, that is a good and bad thing. It's a good thing we're catching it, okay? But if these are the ones we're catching, just how many are there? Like, that is just, it makes the opportunity for the possibility of fraud to just be possible. And when you have universal mail-in ballots, like, I just don't understand why we are not taking this more seriously. Okay, so we're going to get into all the numbers. I'm going to show you all the data. I got the .gov website pulled up, so we're going to get right into it. All right, guys. But thanks for hanging out with me. Welcome to Getting to the Facts. I'm your host, Andrew Curiel. You already know what it is, guys. But make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. Share the video with your friends if you think it's something that they can get some use out of as well. Obviously, we want to keep growing this community as much as possible. All right, guys. So let's hop right into it here. But we got this first thing from Reuters. Now, California becomes the 8th U.S. state to make universal mail-in ballots permanent. Okay, this was in 2021. This was after Joe Biden won the election. They made it permanent because they used it in the 2020 election for the very first time. Let's read a little bit more. California on Monday became the 8th and by far the largest U.S. state to make universal distribution of vote-by-mail ballots permanent, a practice that became more widespread during the COVID-19 plagued 2020 election cycle. The measuring requiring mail-in ballots to be routinely sent to every active registered voter from now on was signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom as the centerpiece of a package of bills aimed at improving the state's overall election system. Its enactment in one of the nation's most heavily Democratic states and the most populous contrasted sharply with a wave of new voting requirements and limits passed this year by Republican-controlled legislatures in Texas and the battleground states of Georgia, Florida, and Arizona. Republicans advocating such restrictions have cited a need for tighter election security to stamp out alleged fraud that former Donald Trump has claimed without evidence cost him the November election. And first off, guys, obviously this is a biased article because there is definitely evidence. There's definitely evidence. Please stop with the no evidence thing. There is plenty of evidence showing that there is for at the very least, the possibility of there to be fraud, no matter which way you look at it. So please stop with this bias look at it. Like, there is definitely some evidence, okay? Not saying it's been proven, but evidence does not mean that it has to be 100% proven yet. It is just evidence that there is something fishy. So stop playing mind games with the average person. It bothers the shit out of me. Okay. But Republicans advocating such restrictions have cited a need, blah, 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 blah. All right, we're going to go down. Democrats and some Republicans have countered that those claims are unsubstantiated and that enhanced voter convenience through ballots can be delivered by mail or at a drop box collection site only expands voter participation. When voters get a ballot in the mail, they vote. California legislature Mark Burbin, chief author of the vote by mail bill, said in a statement. We saw this in the 2020 general election when in the middle of the global health pandemic, we had the highest voter turnout in California since Harry Truman was president. And guys, real quick, yeah, you had the highest turnout. You were sending everybody a ballot in the mail without them even asking for it. I'm sorry, but if you can't even request a mail-in ballot or just go and vote in person, why? Like, it's not like you have to prove that you're a homeowner. You just have to show some actual want to go vote. Not that it just shows up at your doorstep and you're like, well, the ballot harvester person knocked on my door and asked me if I voted, and he's basically forcing me to fill it out and give it to him. That I do not want. Ballot harvesting and universal mail in ballots should be illegal across all states. It is just the opportunity, guys, for there to be fraud is out of this world. And anybody with a non biased view of things is going to say the same thing. Okay? It's just, we want to have confidence in the system, and this does not give you any type of confidence that this thing is going to be ran efficiently or smoothly in any sense of the word. Okay, guys? But that's really my biggest thing that really irritates the crap out of me on that. But let's keep reading here. Voters in California still have the option of casting their ballots at polling stations on election day if they prefer. California was one of 4 states, along with Nevada, Vermont, and Utah, to embrace universal mail-in ballots from the 2020 election cycle as an alternative to in-person voting in response to COVID crisis. Like Utah, California had already begun allowing mail-in voting on a county-by-county basis pre-pandemic, but expanded it to all voters in 2020. The practice was extended statewide temporarily through 2021, including the recent gubernatorial recall election. Now, guys, again, that is a huge problem. And the reason why, again, when we're doing universal mail-in ballots, okay, that is when what we're about to go into with these people that are coming up deceased, that's why this matters. Because the people that don't get caught in this, and even if they get caught, they're just saying that they caught this many. Does that mean they're actually getting terminated from the voting rolls? Who's doing that? You know what I mean? Like, that is something that is very concerning, and we need to get our elected officials in your given states to get a little bit more detail on exactly what this means when it pops up in these databases. But this is, guys, this is from SSA.gov. Okay, this is the HAVV, which is Help America Vote Verification. Okay, these are the transactions by state by every week. Okay, guys, by a given week. And we're just going to start with March 2nd, week of March 2nd, and scroll down here. Now look at the columns. Okay, we got the state, total transactions, unprocessed transactions, total non-matches, total matches, single match live, single match deceased. That's really where we're looking here. Okay, guys. Now every state doesn't have that many. Alabama's got 87, Alaska's got 5, Arizona's got 12. You know, that's normal. I mean, there's a lot of people in this country. Okay, so it's definitely possible you can have 5 that even double digits I'm not even that upset with. Okay, and then you get down here, Kansas has 197, Missouri has 302, Oregon's right there at the brink at 92, and then you got Texas, who has 4,650 people that are turning up deceased in Texas. I know Texas is huge, but the reality of them registering to vote and then dying when this is a weekly done, or I think Texas submits it every 2 weeks. So even if this is by 2 weeks, this is like a bi-weekly thing for Texas. To have that many who signed up to vote and then just died, and for it to be caught in the database like this, that the likelihood of that happening, guys, is so small. I just want us to get on the same page with that. Okay, the likelihood of that happening is so tiny that there's no other way to look at it. But those were people trying to get people registered to vote, probably, and this is just my opinion, okay, because we have this whole southern border crisis. I don't have the evidence to say that this is for sure, okay, but with the amount of illegals that are coming through, and with the amount of nonprofit organizations that are trying to work for the DNC and try to get people, ready to vote, even though they're illegal or just came into the country, or they got a work permit, but they really can't vote, but they want them to vote. I guarantee you that's where these numbers are coming from. Them trying to use other people's socials to register to vote and saying you can vote under them. And that's what's coming up because they're already dead. They're using dead people's socials because that's what illegals do. They use dead people's socials or old people's socials so they can get jobs in the United States when they don't have the proper paperwork. Okay, so that's what that is very alarming to me. 4,600. So all states considered for 1 week, we had 5,474 deceased people that tried to register to vote for this election. Now, let's go to the next week, March 9th. Again, single match deceased. Follow the column, guys. Not that many in the beginning states. Kansas, another 301. Missouri, 227. Oregon, 109. And a total of 5,400 for all the states combined. Now, let's go all the way up to the last week available, which is March 16th. Okay. Let's see what we got. Kansas, another 371. Missouri, 1,337. And then Texas, another one. And again, this is, I think they do it every 2 weeks, but another 4,571 within 2 weeks of each other, guys. Are you absolutely kidding me? So within 1 month, Texas alone had over 9,000 people die that registered to vote. Tell me, with thinking logically, okay, just logical, just make the dots connect. How does this make any sense that Texas would have over 9,000 deceased people just now register to vote and then die? I mean, it is absolutely insane to me. And again, guys, let's go down to the descriptions. What do these terms mean? Okay. So, single match found deceased. The total number of verification requests where there is only one match in our records on name, date of birth, and last 4 digits of social security number, and the number holder is deceased. Guys, that is super, super concerning to me. I mean, and that should be concerning to everybody that's a legal citizen in this country. We do not want anybody who is coming here using taxpayer money once they get here. If they're in certain states, they're able to get money like California, New York is giving them freaking like $1,400 a month on a prepaid visa. Like, it is insane what they're giving them. We don't even take care of our vets as good. Okay. And they're allowing them to do that. Who do you think they're going to vote for if the Biden administration is the one paying for them? And I'm not saying that they're actually legally able to vote. I'm just saying when the rules are so relaxed that there's no way to stop them from voting. There's just no way. As long as they register to vote and they come in and they say that they're this name and they're in a state that doesn't require any type of an ID, what do you think is going to happen, guys? What do you think is going to happen? And before you think that this is all a conspiracy theory, okay, I got another thing to show you. We go here. Voter ID laws. And this is from the National Conference of State Legislatures. Okay, this is a .org website. Now look here. This is the map of the United States. This is the little color board here, okay? The light gray is no document is required to vote. The one above, ID is requested. Photo not required. So a photo's not even required, okay? Just an ID. And then it goes into a little bit of a green, photo ID is requested. And then dark green, strict non-photo ID. So it doesn't even need a photo, but it needs to be an actual ID of some sort. Birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, one of those, okay? And then black is strict voter ID, which we really don't even have any of those, I don't think. I mean, we might have 1 or 2. Yeah, a couple in there, okay? But the ones that I'm concerned about, look at this, guys. No document required to vote. California, one of the biggest states, all of the East Coast corner up here. New York, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Maine, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, District of Columbia. I mean, guys, this is where all the illegals are going, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, New Mexico doesn't even require it. I mean, that is insane to me. Illinois, of course. Minnesota, of course. Like, that is concerning, guys. So when you have universal mail-in ballots, okay, you're not even required to show an ID or any type of document at all in order to vote. You just say your name is so and so. Okay, come right here. Type in your name and vote. Guys, this is so concerning. It's not even it's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. And this is something the average person should be very, very aware of. And this is something that no matter what side of the aisle you're on, we should all be able to come to an agreement that this is a bad thing. Okay? This is a terrible, terrible thing. And when you start going into it, guys, and saying, oh, it's a conspiracy theory that the last election was stolen. I'm not saying it was stolen, but to say that there was very questionable tactics used to make sure Donald Trump didn't get reelected is very accurate, okay? The Time magazine, guys. This is from 2020. Time magazine is a Democrat magazine, okay? It's very left-leaning on a lot of things, okay? They came out with an article, The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign That Saved the 2020 Election. And read this, please, guys. It's a 35-minute read. Google this. Time Magazine Shadow Campaign. That's all you got to type in, okay? And it goes through how the media was set up. The media, the social media tech companies, the news outlets, everybody came together on the left side, on the Democratic side, in order to put out as much negative press towards Donald Trump as possible. And this was during 2020 when everyone was locked up in their house. Okay, and there was nothing going on, no sports really. It was really just politics that they could pay attention to. And of course, Trump was president at the time. So all the attention went to him. And we were going through the pandemic, so everyone was like iffy on what was going on. The economy was going down because everyone was locked up. It was a big old thing. All right. But to say that it's a conspiracy theory is insane when you're looking at this. So please, that is something I'd recommend everybody go read up on. It is something that I don't think the average person really understands, that there was that many big multi-million, multi-billion dollar companies that collaborated together in order to go against Trump when it comes to press. And that, along with the 50 intelligence officials that came out saying that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation, when in reality it was true and the FBI had it since 2019, along with all of that stuff, guys, you can't say that I'm not saying it was stolen. There is a lot of questionable things that happened to cause that election to go haywire. And I think the two things, if we can at least limit something, we need to stop. Mail-in ballots completely need to be taken out of the picture, guys. Absolutely need to get taken out of the picture. And ballot harvesting. I'm sorry, but even if you're voting by mail, you should be able to turn in your mail-in ballot to the mailbox. There should be no random person should be able to go by 100 to 1,000 people and pick up all of these ballots and submit them himself or herself. Why? That to me especially, completely ripe for fraud. Okay? Completely. 100%. There's no way about it. No matter who you want to get elected, that is questionable on both. This should be a bipartisan agreement. You know what I mean, guys? So again, just something that we really need to pay attention to. Again, please, I stress it for the last time. Google Time Magazine Shadow Campaign. Read that entire thing. Okay? It is amazing. Amazing how they come out bragging about what they did on collaborating against Donald Trump for that election. Absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely insane. But thanks again for hanging out with me. I hope you had a great rest of your day. Again, guys, make sure you end your week on a good note. I know tomorrow's Friday, so we're getting right into the weekend. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay blessed out there, and I'll see you on that next video.